My friend kidnapped me. I know, that sounds dramatic, but it is exactly what happened. Before we get there, his name was Ethan Wilder. You need to understand something about Ethan. He was weird. Not the cool kind of weird. Not the mysterious loner with a tragic past. Not the funny guy who says strange things but somehow pulls it off. No. Ethan Wilder was the kind of weird that made you tighten your backpack straps when he walked by. He was friendly, quiet, always staring at something nobody else could see. And when he did speak, it was always the strangest thing you'd hear that day. So when he approached me after school, smiling like he had just won the lottery, I should have walked away. I should have ignored him. I should have done anything except what I actually did. I stopped, and I said, "What's up?" He looked relieved, like he wasn't sure I would answer. Then he said, "I need your help with something important. You're the only one who can do it." Red flag. But he said it with this pure, desperate sincerity that made me hesitate. "What is it?" I asked. He leaned closer, way too close, and whispered, "I need you to wake up my sister." I blinked. "Wake her up? From what? A nap?" He shook his head slowly. "No, she won't wake up. She's stuck." Stuck? Like she was trapped somewhere, like she was unconscious, like she was in a coma. I didn't get a chance to ask, because Ethan grabbed my wrist, hard, too hard. "Please, you need to see her. Come with me." Before I could pull away, before I could think, he was dragging me across the parking lot. That was the moment I should have yelled, should have made a scene, should have ripped my arm away and ran. But I didn't. I just let him pull me along like some confused idiot. He opened the back door of his beat-up silver Honda and shoved me inside. Shoved, not guided, not invited, shoved. Then he climbed into the driver's seat, locked the doors, and started the car. My heart dropped. "Ethan, what the hell are you doing?" He didn't look at me. He just stared straight ahead and said, "She doesn't wake up for anyone, but she will for you." I swallowed hard. Why would she wake up for me? This time. He did look at me. His eyes were wide and terrified. "Because she said your name." We drove in silence. Out of town, down a road I'd never taken in my entire life, past trees that looked dead, past houses with no lights on, past fields that looked abandoned. The sun was setting, orange and slow, and every part of me felt like I had made a horrible mistake. After about 20 minutes, we pulled into a long gravel driveway. At the end of it sat a house that looked like it had been left to rot for years. Dark, quiet, uneasy. Ethan got out of the car. I didn't. "Come on," he said, his voice completely calm, too calm. "Ethan, if your sister is hurt, we need to call someone." "She's not hurt," he said. "She's waiting." He walked to the front door without checking if I followed. But of course I followed, because fear makes you stupid, and curiosity finishes the job. Inside the house, the air felt cold. Not winter cold, more like basement cold, like somewhere sunshine wasn't allowed to touch. "Where is she?" I asked. "Upstairs," he said. We climbed the stairs, each step creaking under my weight. The hallway was dim. The lights were weak, barely glowing. At the very end of the hall was a closed door. Ethan stopped in front of it. "This is her room," he whispered. He put his hand on the doorknob, but he didn't open it. Instead, he looked at me, shaking, eyes wet. "She hasn't spoken in 3 months, but this morning, she said your name. She whispered it 3 times, like a prayer." My skin crawled. "What's her name?" I asked. He closed his eyes. "Lena." Then he opened the door. The room was small, blue wallpaper, old stuffed animals in the corner, a lamp glowing weakly on a dresser. And in the center of the room was a bed. A girl lay in it, perfectly still, eyes closed, breathing soft and shallow. She looked peaceful, too peaceful. "Lena," Ethan whispered. No response. He stepped back. "Try," he said softly. "Try what?" I asked. "Say something. Anything. She'll hear you." I didn't want to, but the silence was unbearable. So I stepped closer to her bed. Hi," I said, feeling ridiculous. I'm not sure why I'm here." "Nothing." I tried again. "Lena, can you hear me?" Her eyelids twitched. My breath caught. Ethan gasped behind me. I leaned closer. "Lena, if you can hear me, I need you to wake up." Her lips parted, barely, just enough for air to escape, and then, in the faintest whisper I have ever heard, she said, "Run." Every hair on my body stood up. I stepped back fast, heart pounding. What was that? Ethan looked confused. What did she say? But I didn't answer, because Lena's eyes began to open, not slowly, not gently. They snapped open, wide, black, empty. She stared at me, straight at me, like she had been waiting forever. Then she smiled, too wide, too wrong. And she whispered again, "Run." I bolted. Down the hall, down the stairs, through the living room, straight out the front door. I didn't look back. I didn't wait for Ethan. I didn't breathe until I was halfway down the driveway. I reached the car, yanked the door, locked myself inside. My hands were shaking so hard I could barely get the key into the ignition. Up at the house, the front door slowly opened. And for a moment, just a moment, Lena stood in the doorway, silent, still, watching me, smiling. I slammed the gas. Gravel flew everywhere. I didn't stop driving until I reached the nearest gas station with actual people in sight. I never spoke to Ethan again. He never came back to school. His house was found abandoned a week later. The whole family gone, except for one thing. In the back seat of my car, right behind where I had sat that night. Someone had carved a single word into the leather, "Run." So now I know one thing for sure. Whatever happened in that house, whatever Ethan was dealing with, whatever Lena had become, it wasn't meant for me, and it wasn't meant for the world outside that rotting front door. She warned me, twice. And I listened. I still think about Ethan sometimes, wondering if he ever escaped, wondering if he ever realized what he had pulled me into, wondering if he regretted dragging me there, or if he was already too far gone to know the difference. But mostly, I think about the way she looked at me, like she recognized me, like she had been waiting, like saying my name was only the beginning, and the carving in the seat, right behind me, perfectly centered, perfectly deliberate. Run. I did, and I still am, because every time I close my eyes, I swear I can feel someone sitting behind me, breathing slow and steady, quiet as a whisper, waiting for the moment I stop moving. So if you ever hear your name in the voice of someone who shouldn't know it, someone who shouldn't be awake, someone who shouldn't be here at all, do yourself a favor. Run.